The end of the world is a product, and I would advise you to avoid consuming it as much as possible. I saw this line in a recent TikTok video I watched and scrolled past, and it had me really thinking because even though I agree, generally speaking, that we're in like a fourth turning and there's just so much upheaval and economically, politically, socially, and the state of the world is just sort of like a Jenga block right now, just teetering on the edge. One slight push or touch, and it just everything falls over. The whole tower collapses, right? A lot of this just feels like a house of cards, figuratively and literally. But understand that we are in late stage capitalism, so there is no dignity. Anything and everything will be commodified and transformed into some type of product to extract value, data, uh, some type of resource, your mental energy, your physical energy, or, straight up cash, money, all those sort of things. Anything and everything under the sun. There's no limits here, right? And we clearly see that, right? And I've gone down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I've watched a lot of these sort of prepper videos on these prepper channels, the doomsday propaganda, the world is ending, the chicken little, mindset that's propagated with a lot of this sort of content. And I think it's become more ubiquitous post 2020 with the pandemic because that was just a huge moment of uncertainty where it did feel like the apocalypse here and the world is going to end. And, tomorrow is definitely not guaranteed. And this is all we've got now. And if you look at history, there have been numerous moments like this. I feel like there's at least one or two every century, right? If we look back and study history. But I think if you interview the people in those respective time periods, they had the similar process that we did, that there wasn't much hope, there wasn't much faith in institutions and systems and the government. People really didn't even trust their fellow man like we kind of see nowadays. But they still had to continue and carry on and live life. And I remember reading that in that book about Ukraine that I read recently by that guy, Vladimir Harazak. I mispronounced his name, but if you check my previous videos, I made a book review about that. Anyways, the end of the world is a product that they want you to consume, all right? And there's a whole ecosystem built out of this, right? A lot of these preppers, a lot of these influencers, content creators, they'll build out stores where they're selling you MREs and all these other kind of food that's very shelf stable. It'll last you for years, even after apocalypse has hit. And they have t-shirts and pants and jeans, shoes, all this type of clothing and memorabilia, guns and flashlights, all these sort of products you can think of that they sell. And especially with the push of a lot of this sort of AI generated AI slop content, I've noticed, especially over the last 2 years, it's hit me more and more that a lot of people are making content